Okay. So for this week, we're going to start working on the trees. Again, we placed them last week, just place them there. So it'll be nice today to work on the trees before we start putting some stronger leaves in there and stronger colors and come forward. I have here Payne's Gray, Burnt Umber, and White. Now I'm just going to mix Payne's Gray and Burnt Umber together, and sometimes with some of the trees, I'm going to use more Burnt Umber than Payne's Gray and a bit of white to put the color on. I'm not trying to be exactly accurate with the trees, so it's the way I see them in the reference, but it's just for depth. So if we put a bit of white with the ones in the back, it just pushes these two or a couple of these ones to the back. So we'll have more, the ones in the front will be deeper in color and stronger, so they'll come forward. So it's just nice, and that's the whole painting is about depth and layers. So I'm going to start with just a little bit of Payne's Gray, and then I'm going to use more of the Burnt Umber. I'm going to take a little bit of white, put it in, and Payne's Gray is good because it will gray down my my Burnt Umber. It will make it a little bit more cooler, and it will just give it that little bit of a grayish blue hint to it, which is great for depth. Now I'm going to use these two colors with the two trees here at first, the ones on the left-hand side. I'm just going to start putting that color. Yeah, that's not bad at all. It's good. It doesn't, you're not going to see a lot of a difference, but you will see it more gray, more kind of, there's a gray hint in there, because I'm using a touch of white, not too much, slowly. You know, use white with the corner of your brush when you apply it to your color. I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit, you can see the color better. Okay. So this is a really good brown gray color, not too dark. If you find that you can't see the difference and you can't see that grayish color in there, add a little bit more white on your brush or in your paint. Just paint these ones in the back. If we don't do this, it'll be fine. It's not like the painting's not going to look nice. It will. It's just all of those trees and branches that we have will look like they're on the same level. And it's nicer if they're not. And you don't have to be accurate. If you give it a hint, dab some of these colors on, it'll be fine. It will be enough. Acrylic dries darker, so sometimes we need to adjust. Great. Good. So I want more brown than Payne's gray. And I'm going to put a little bit of white in it. That gives me like a gray-brown color. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to keep these two ones here in the front darker. So I'm still working on the one that's in the back. Okay, this one too. So these here leaning to the left are in the front. Perfect. Okay, good. Now I'm going to come to this side. Again, these two trees are a little bit further back. Yeah. It looks dark. The color on the color I'm mixing looks a bit dark on the monitor, but it's not that dark. And try to get it to give it a bit of texture. So I know I covered this, but that one here, I would give it a bit of more like dabbing the color on. Let's do that more. All right, now the one next to it. For now, it feels like, you know, when you're doing this, it feels like, why am I doing all this? Why am I going through this? All of these steps and different values. Once we start putting other colors in there, you will see it makes a big difference. It makes it look much more interesting. Let's push this up a bit. Let's see if there's another one we can put in there. Maybe that one here. Last one.
I'm getting a nice gray color.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a nice gray color using Hooker's green and white.
Hooker's green and white?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Keep going. Keep going. That's awesome. Why not? There are many ways of getting gray color or grays or ultramarine blue and burnt umber and white will give you a beautiful bluish gray. Different, yeah, whatever it works. That's great. Now, once this is done, I'm just going to take a little bit of, I'll stop in a minute. I'm going to pause in a minute. Just, actually, I'll pause right now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees that are darker in grays, like in a gray color. Okay, so now we've done the trees in the back in a kind of a grayish brown color. I'm going to take now round brush and I'm going to take Payne's gray, a little bit of burnt umber, and I'm going to come here and just with the tip of my brush, go around soft and put some texture on these trees. A little bit, not much, just to give it, because they're flat, you know, because especially as well because of the white. White flattens everything. So this will give it a little bit of a movement. Let's do the bottom part. It's a quick kind of brush stroke here and there. If you want, add a bit of water to your paint. It makes it easier to move the brush around. It's awesome. It's good. That's awesome there. Same for this, for the trees on the side. I'm going to start from the bottom part. You see the difference once we put the ones in the front. You see that the ones in the front are going to be so strong in terms of color, they're going to come forward. It doesn't matter how the shape, what the shape of those texture paint brushes I'm putting in there. It just kind of go quick, fast. Okay. One more. Water. We're good. All right, so now, before we do the trees in the front, we're going to put some leaves. So now it's just the fun part. I'm going to use, this is cadmium yellow medium, and this is cadmium red light, or cadmium red medium will do. And we have white. So any of the, don't put too much, because what I'm going to do is like just put a bit of, enhance the orange in the back in certain areas, not everywhere. So that's why I'm using this color. So that's why I'm adding white to it as well. I know it's not an orange in the picture. It's more like a pink orangey color, but really it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what the color is. As long as we enhance it a bit in certain areas, it will look nice. It will look it will match, or it will look nice as a background for the yellow that we're going to be putting in the front. Some down here. So don't put too much on your palette. Don't put too much paint. It's already looking beautiful. I'm using a round brush. I'm just dabbing. Don't put too much because we don't want to lose this beautiful, beautiful soft pastel color in the back. Just tiny bit, little bit. Now the same. I'll give you some time to do that. Is that? Would you like some time to do this, or you're okay?
I'm okay.
You're okay, all right?
With the others.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're okay, all right. Now I'm going to take raw sienna. We're going to go back to this. Well, we're going to need this combination of orange that we just made. We're going to need it up here. So for now, I'm going to take raw sienna and cadmium yellow medium. And if you don't have cadmium yellow medium, cadmium yellow light will do. Lemon yellow will do. Any color you have there will be fine. I take a smaller brush. I'm using a bright. I'm going to take a smaller size bright. This is number 4 and this is number 6. And I'm going to mix yellow, cadmium yellow medium with raw sienna. And I'm going to start from the left side and come to the right. So from the left side, with the corner of my brush, I'm just going to put a couple dab in different direction. Darken a little bit with using more raw sienna. Yeah, that's good. This is just the base. All right, so this is not how it's going to look. Just a mask color. What I'm doing is a mask color right now. And then I'll show you in a minute how we're going to do that. Now, there is another way of doing this. If you don't want to use this kind of brush, you're welcome to use any brush you like. There's another way of doing this using maybe a brush like this one. You just dab it, put your color on, and you just dab. I'm not a fan of this kind of dabbing. It's just because it gives me a flat surface. I like using the corner of a brush because it's more, I get more texture. So I always start with darker color and then I highlight on top of that. And when I highlight, that means I'm adding detail. This is just first layer. I'm gonna come up to, oh, sorry, this part and do this here, same. So when I'm dabbing, I'm turning my brush around. over the parts that we have done already, the trees that we worked on this morning. You know, sometimes if I'm looking at the reference, I find that where the leaves are in a place where they're hiding a nice detail of the tree, I don't put it there. I put it somewhere else. I put the leaves somewhere else. A little bit here. Or sometimes I want to hide something too. Hide a detail that I don't like. Just do a little bit. In here. And if we go over the tree, it doesn't matter because we're gonna be doing these trees. They're not done yet. Let's put some here as well. I know they're not there in the reference, but I think they will look nice. And these ones in the back, I'm enhancing the color a bit of the yellow. I don't need to go over that to give it texture or detail. I'm bringing a little bit of that same orange I used before, and I put a bit of raw sienna in it. It gives me that muted kind of orange. And I'm going to put a couple here. So when I'm doing something like this, I do not, think about where the branches are. I think about grouping the colors and the leaves, not where the branch is. The leaves could be floating. It has nothing to do with the branches. Because if I do think about the branches, I might follow the shape of the branch and it doesn't look good. It sometimes looks like, you have some leaves that are attached to the branch, but it doesn't make sense the way they look. That's why I look at color, grouping. I don't look at branches. Okay. Now, this part is dry, and this part is dry as well. So I can show you a little bit how I do the leaves. Now I'm gonna start highlighting a little bit more, using more yellow. Same brush, or I'll switch to a round one and I'll show you how to do. I have to do the same thing with a round one. I'm going to take cadmium yellow medium, mix it with a bit of. Now there's more cadmium yellow medium than raw sienna. So the whole time I'm keeping an eye on the shape. So I'm seeing like an oval shape right now, and it's a little bit too clustered. So I'm going to push it up and out to get rid of that shape of an oval. Okay, so this is with this brush. If you want to use round brush, you can do the same. I'm going to take round brush, take the same colors, and let's do this. I have to dip my brush in water. When you start highlighting, then you will see shapes more than when you're putting a medium tone or a dark color. So that's why you want to take your time and stop from time to time. So let's say I find that this is still like a cluster that doesn't look that great. No problem. Once it's dry, I can mix the color of the sky, and it doesn't have to be exactly the same, and just go in and change the shape, open it up a bit. So negative painting. So that's why it's great using colors or paint that you could work over. You want more detail? You're welcome to do that. Add more detail. It's up to you. This is just the fun part. So there's no right and wrong. Just whatever you do, keep an eye on the shapes of these clustered or leaves that you're putting in there. But other than that, use any colors you like. Do whatever you like. This is a fun project. I'm going to have a couple floating here. And now I'm going to come to this side, which has a lot more of this yellow. I'm going to switch back to my bright brush, take some yellow and raw sienna. I'm not going to mix them that much because I want this. I'll show you. You'll see. If you don't mix them too much, the brush stroke is nicer. I'll start from top here. Some areas I would put more of the raw sienna, and some other areas I'll put more the yellow, cadmium yellow medium. I have to work on this tree, so it doesn't matter what happens here for now. there's a beautiful cluster of color over on this side that stretches to this here. So I'm going to do that. And it's a cluster of color that has a bit of orange as well in certain areas. I'm going to let this dry a bit because I'm going to go over it with a bit of more yellow. And I'm going to go down here. Let's take a bit of more of the raw sienna. Yeah, that's better. Again, I know that we haven't worked on these trees, but that's okay. It's a lot of floating kind of leaves. You know, we always, when we're doing something like this, we're always thinking about the shape of the leaf. It's mostly not the shape of the leaf that I have to worry about. It's where I'm putting these leaves. The shape I'm creating with this. Is it a shape like organic like this one here? Or is the shape like this one that looks like a circle or a triangle or an oval? So I tried to avoid creating specific shape with the leaves. I just want a beautiful organic, natural kind of distribution of these leaves. I'm taking more yellow now, a little bit more yellow on my brush, and I'm going to go over. And you see, because I have more raw sienna in the background, I can see those beautiful highlighted yellow leaves. Clean your brush. If you have too much paint on it, wipe it. So this is a suggestion of leaves. You know, like I'm not trying to create a shape of a leaf, a suggestion of a shape of a leaf, right? So again, I don't like this. This is like not a good cluster. That's okay. I'm going to take a bit of raw sienna, and I'm going to kind of change the shape. Doing leaves like this is tricky. It's not an easy thing to do. It looks easy. It's like, yes, it's a cluster of leaves. It's not. It is a cluster of leaves that make sense. They do look good. They look beautiful. So again, look, this is a circle. That doesn't look good. So no problem. Here we go. I'm going to take, let's take burnt umber, a little bit of white, and kind of a grayish burnt umber, the same color I was using before. Doesn't have to be exactly the same. And I'm going to come here and paint the tree on again, not the whole thing, in between, like a negative painting, and that will change the shape that I'm getting. There. It's softer. It looks better. It looked like a circle before. Again, let's do this here too. Let's see. So I'm going to take some brown. And it doesn't mean that I will be doing something like this after as well. Like down when we're working on the trees, I will be doing that. I will be coming back and opening, doing negative painting to make it look much more interesting. See how it changed from a cluster of an oval color into kind of more organic, because I just added some of the branches back on again. Round brush, I'm just going to come in with brown and I'm going to put some branches on. So I'm adding the branches after putting the leaves, and that will make it, first of all, will change a bit. It will break that cluster of leaves and it makes it look a lot more interesting. Okay. All right. Now let's take a bit of red and mix it with my, I'm gonna zoom out again so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Now take a little bit of that red I have and mix it with my raw sienna. Let's put a bit of that red, or earthy red, I should say. Earthy red over here. And part of that cluster that I saw over here is just because I'm using the same color. So if you use a different color, then you will break that cluster sometimes. I'm gonna put a bit of that orangey, earthy color. Let's put a couple here. Once I start using green, I'm going to be using, I'm going to be putting green in between, just a little bit. Don't put too much, just a couple. Okay, so we solved the problem of the cluster here. I'm going to go back and start pulling some of that yellow out. Again, there's another cluster right there. That's not a nice shape. Okay, push it out. Push them out. All right. And I'll come back and put in a minute. I'll put this branch back on again and it will look much better.
Yeah, well, I'm having a hard time having my paint stick to the canvas today. Why would that be?
Paint is not sticking on the canvas?
No.
Do you have any kind of, did you put anything on top of that canvas at all? Like any medium? Did you use anything?
Well, when we did when we did the wash kind of
Yes.
thing,
Yes.
I used the gesso.
Clear gesso.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually will seal it. It's good. It will seal it. It's not gonna, it's strange.
Yeah, but when I'm trying to paint like the trunks and the trunks and the branches, it's just not like
Sticking.
sticky.
Okay, so do you have the branches and the trunk? That's when you're having the problem, right?
And
What kind of paint are you using?
it's Liquitex.
Just Liquitex?
Yeah, it's mostly Liquitex. Yeah. Yeah. And I have it's not like they're old brushes. Some of them are new.
No, I don't think it's the brushes, Josie. I think it's the paint or the surface. Try to try to put a layer of clear gesso again. Is it like the surface is too smooth? It's not sticking, or are you? Yeah.
It's not sticking. It's almost like there's like a wax or something on
Yeah.
the canvas, and when you try and paint like a line just going down.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
Oh, I'm having to do like just to do a trunk, I'm having to do layer upon layer upon layer.
Trying to think why would this happen. The only reason sometimes what happens with acrylics is if you put too many layers on top of each other, it becomes like almost like a glassy top. It's really hard for paint to stick on it when you put too many layers. But this is not what's happening with you because you didn't put too many layers. That's not the reason. It has to be like 6, 7 layers or whatever, something crazy. That will it will become like this. But try to put a layer, a wash of clear gesso over so it sticks. The paint grabs to something because clear gesso is very gritty, so
Right.
that might help.
Okay.
Try and let me know.
Yeah. It's just frustrating.
I know it is. Yes, yes. So trying to do something, and the main the most important part is the paint.
Mhm.
I know, but try it that way. Let's
Yeah.
see. So now I have this huge big cluster of yellow. And I would like to soften this. So I have an option, which is there already, which is taking the color of the branch that I had before. I don't have to do it right now. I just want to show you though. And putting the branch back on. And that helps with the cluster of color that's happening in here. Also, a couple of twigs coming out. That helps camouflage some of this, or not camouflage, I shouldn't say camouflage. It's actually changed the shape of that cluster. And soften. All right. Let's keep going down. This is raw sienna with a bit of yellow, but I'm putting a tiny bit of red as well. Just a tiny bit. Just makes it more interesting and warmer. Now, let's put some of this raw sienna in the back. Now, if I want a branch here after, I will draw one, but I'm not going to draw one and then go all around it, you know, or use the leaves, put leaves around it. For me, it doesn't work because I find myself following the shape of the branch, and it just makes it look, with me, it doesn't look good. But if you find that it's easier for you and this is what you like to do, go for it. As long as you can control the shape of those leaves. All right, some here. So with the layering, this is what we're doing. We're coming forward. I'm gonna put a little bit more of red in my raw sienna. All right, now I'm gonna take yellow, start adding yellow. This uh, the guys outside with the, what is that called? Cleaning the leaves outside.
Flower.
So annoying. Oh. Can you hear them?
I can't hear them.
Good. You're lucky. So since I have red here already, I'm going to take a lot more red. Not a lot, just going to grab some red, put it here, and I can see it more. And I'm going to put a couple of red. Although, technically I should be waiting for next week. So at least I can do, or at least wait until I do this, the trees in the front. But I can't resist. Red is so cute, so beautiful. All right, I'm going to do that. Okay, so I have a cluster here, and that's okay. And here too. I don't like that. That's like most of the branch is covered by the leaves, and it's okay, but it's better if it's not. And I'll show you what to do. I just because I have red with me here, I'm gonna come here and put a little bit of that orangey red. And then next week when we start doing the trees in the front, we will put more red on top of that. Now, when you put something like that, which is kind of yellows and reds and, all over, if I'm putting some of it here on the left-hand side, I tried to drag a couple to this side as well. So it doesn't look like it's sitting on the left and the right has different colors. So just a couple so that I can go around. I have more yellow on the right-hand side, that's fine. And I have more red on the left-hand side, that's fine also. So, but in between, I have a couple that are floating that connect the eye and have that kind of continuous movement around on the canvas. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of that brown and Payne's gray and put some white in it. Okay, and see this cluster here that's kind of heavy? I'm just gonna break it up a bit. This is negative painting. That's way better. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do this one. That's a bit of too heavy in here. Much better. Where else? Oh, here. Here. That one here. Let's take a tiny bit. There. So anywhere I can just look around and see if there's anywhere I should, let's say here. That's a little bit corner kind of. Oh. Let's look at this without anything in the right next to it, so we can see. Okay, that looks good. Now, remember when I was doing that one up here, and I said it's too clustered, and I don't like it, and it should, we can fix it. Okay, let's try to fix that. This part. I'm gonna try to use the same colors I'm using right now because I don't want to start adding different colors. So I'm taking Payne's gray and wait, one moment. Sorry, just 1 minute. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna try with Payne's gray and white. And I'm gonna try to open up this here, the cluster of leaves I have using negative painting. Let's put some white in there, more white, and yeah, it's better, lighter. That's much better. Okay, a little bit more. This is the branch in the back. I'm using this to change the shape of the leaves I had before. And it's making a big difference. Looks good. Let's see if we can fix that one here. Going back to my Payne's gray and white. A little bit more of the Payne's gray than white, so darker. And that's going to help me break that shape again of leaves. All right, I can see this. Can you see that circle? I don't know if you can see it. I can see it. So see, especially here, there's a circle. So let's try to break that a bit. It doesn't take a lot of work, just a couple of brush strokes and it will be fine. There. One brush stroke here, 2, 3. Same right there. So we go a little bit darker. Yeah, that's Payne's gray. So I broke this circle. It's not there anymore. I changed the shape. Yeah, that's much better. orange. You know, here it looks like I'm trying to avoid this tree, and that's why I'm getting that kind of all of these leaves on the same level, or you know. So I'm gonna come here and then just add a couple. Much better. That's much better. Okay. It's mostly the edge of the, not inside. Well, sometimes inside, but mostly the edge of the shape, the pattern that needs to be adjusted. The edges here. This is where you see that specific movement. Sometimes you just want to tip it to one side, to the other side. Like instead of tipping this way, tip it that way, using more brush strokes. All right. I'm going to take a break and we'll come back to this. So this is where we're at this week. Next week, we'll start working with the trees in the front and add some more leaves and then some details.